Hey, so I mentioned, y'all know my glasses are dirty. I mentioned that tonight, which is Monday, March 4th, that the members only club that I joined has a play tonight, and I wasn't even gonna go, but you know what I said? I said, number one, I'm paying for this membership. I need to be showing up. But also, I had immense gratitude for this channel, which in so many ways I keep saying that it's like a public diary, and it is. And well, I say it's like a public diary because it is what I keep calling old school YouTube vibes, which just is, it is what it is. So anyway, I'm about to go. I have a wrap dress on. Let me see if y'all can kind of see. Yes, I spilled a little powder on my dress. I'm old school. I still put on powder. Just a little black wrap dress. My chain. When I get my new Van Cleef necklace, I will be wearing that, but not right now. And I'm bringing this lip oil, even though I wear my mask, just in case we take pictures or something. This, I got actually all of them from Ulta. This is like, what color is this? I don't need my glasses. Oh no, Honey Tails. So this actually isn't what I have on, but I'm bringing this. Let me show y'all what I have on my lips. Ooh. And I'm running late. Ooh. And I'm running late. I actually have on this one, which is, what is this? Session. Lord, I cannot wait to go to the eye doctor soon. Jam session. Something session. I don't know. I think it's jam session or something. So this is what I have on, but this is what I'm bringing. I'm also adding this. Oh, let me show you my purse and my gold teeth. I may or may not wear them. I'll decide. And this is my going out bag. Let me get it. This is my little going out clutch. My sister gave it to me. And I wear the same going out bag. I'm not a big purse girly. But anyway, I'm running late. I gotta get my phone, my earbuds for the lift because it's nighttime and I don't really like driving at night, especially if it's a place I've never been before, so I will be taking a lift. So I'll be back. Oh, the play is called Tired, and it is about, I think it's a play or a stage reading, but about Black women's experiences. I'm all for that. The event is from 7 to 9:30. It is 6, what time is it? It is 6:25, and I live like 40 minutes away, so I'm gonna be a little late. But anyway, I'll come back, tell y'all all about it. Well, as much as I can tell, but I'll tell about my experience. So anyway, super excited to go. And also, I'm excited to be documenting these experiences because this channel is holding me accountable. Because I'm really holding myself accountable to the things that I came here for and the things I want to do. Because I wasn't going to come up here tonight, nor was I going to go to the show because I'm tired. Just getting used to this new schedule where my schedule went from a few things to now really busy. And typically I try not to go anywhere through the week, but I was like, I gotta come to this performance. It's about Black women, for Black women. I am a Black woman. It's a play. I'm a playwright. And so I just had to show up for me and to meet some new people. So hopefully this will be fun and I will have great things to report. All right, let me go. Okay, so I am back. And the play, let me get the playbill. This is the playbill. The play is called Tired, and it was really good. There were, how many monologues? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 monologues, and it just was good. The Gathering Spot is a vibe. It gives me the vibe of like, what does it give me the vibe of? Like Norfolk, Virginia, Tidewater, but like downtown Norfolk, Granby Street, downtown lounge feel. That's what it gave me. So it was really good. I really enjoyed it. I had a really good time. The play was good. It just was so black. I loved it. I mean, we were talking back at the play, like during the monologues, we were able to have like a call and response. And then at the end, the people are part of the production. Whew. Okay, I'm back. Let me get the playbill. I'm tired. It's after 10 o'clock. Usually I go to sleep early. So this is the playbill. Tired. And the play was really good. This was a monologue of 7 women's stories. And so it was just really good. Really enjoyed it. Really recommend if you ever get a chance to see it in LA, please. But, ooh, excuse me, acid reflux. But let's talk about the Gathering Spot. It is a vibe. It is black, like black. When I say black, I always do like this, black. But it was good. I had a warm feeling. It was, yeah, my kind of people. Like, the play was great. We had a Q&A with the production, and then it opened up to everyone, and people just were telling their stories, just bringing awareness to abuse, trigger warning, shame, trauma. How do we heal as a community? How are we overcome by our testimony, telling our truth, building community? We were singing. It was everything. I'm so glad I came out tonight. And on the way home, because I'm dramatic and sensitive, and because I don't drive at night, I just, get to look out the window. And I started crying because it's like, these are all the things I came here for. Yes, do I want to have these big dreams to tell these stories? Absolutely. But I also came here to continue my story. And so being in these places that just feel so good and people are like-minded and aligned, and it's just a vibe that you can't explain it. But to be here, my first production that I've seen, particularly a play here, was written by a Black woman about Black women. It just was everything. And so I was riding in the Lyft coming back home, and I started to cry because I was like, everything that I've wanted is coming to fruition. And it's not just about the stuff. Stuff is cool, right? It's cool. It's nice. Don't get me wrong. I'm grateful. But it's about the experiences here. My plan isn't to be here forever. And so being able to do all the things that I want to do while I'm here, being present, enjoying them, and just like, it's just a thing. So I'm so glad that I went. I'm so glad that hey, okay, I am back. And earlier in the video, you saw me go to the Gathering Spot. Now, I do want to talk about, so this is my, let me show y'all. So this is my folder that's like my creative notes folder. So when I go to different film workshops and film conferences, I like to bring this folio. So let's talk about a little bit about what I learned at the the financial literacy, the Chase Financial Literacy workshop at the Hip Hop Till Infinity Museum exhibit. Let me make sure. Okay. So this was through the Gathering Spot. So let's talk about that night. So this was March 12th, 2024. And it was great. I was able to, and again, this is through the Gatherings by LA. I was able to go to the museum, the Hip Hop Till Infinity, and I was there with some other people who loved hip hop. So I will include photos and videos here. As you can see, it was a pretty amazing experience. There were one little hallway, big room, maybe about 5 different exhibit areas. There's also a really great store. I really didn't see anything I liked, so I didn't get anything from the store. And yeah, so I went because I love hip hop. I just love hip hop so much. I didn't even know it was a financial literacy workshop. I just saw that it talked about hip hop, like I think on the like little blurb, it just said a museum visit. It didn't really give all the information. And then once I signed up through the app, then I found out that it was a financial literacy workshop, when I was like, oh yeah, who doesn't want to become more financially literate? And so that was good. So I got there at about 6 and a little bit before 6, and I waited outside with folks, and then we went in. Well, when we went in, we told them our name, checked us off on the list, and then we, went through the museum, which you saw the photos and videos. It was great. Of course, when I'm in any hip hop space, I'm always looking for 2 Up, 2 Down, my people. So I'm always looking for Pharrell, Missy, the Neptunes, NERD, Timbaland. And so, of course, I took photos with those pictures. Did that, had a blast. And then we went to the financial literacy part, which was nice. They had little snacks, which I'm always going to get a little snack. So that was nice. But let's talk about what I learned in the financial literacy workshop. So we get there and we're told there's going to be a special guest. And I'm not thinking about, because I didn't know there was going to be a special guest. Listen, I'm here for the vibes now. Here for the vibes. So why when I did that, I want to do the the money long made for you dance. But anyway, I'm here for the vibes. And so they were like, oh, a special guest. And I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. And the special guest turned out to be Common. I was like, oh, this is nice. I'm not a big conscious rap person, but hey, Common's cool. I was like, oh, okay. So let's talk about some things that they talked about in the workshop. So the beginning part of the workshop was just a lot of credit information, like how your credit score is broken down, what it means to pay your bills on time, paying your bills ahead, how much credit you should borrow, and all of that, which I thought was great information. The thing that I always say, though, as someone who is committed to equality and equity, the thing that I think is a critique on a lot of these like financial literacy conversations is that people need to be able to make a living wage. And I've seen this online, and I echo the sentiment. You cannot budget your way out of not having a living wage. And so that was the thing that was missing. I don't know how they could have put that in the presentation, but I'm just saying. I just wish, actually I'll say this, I wish in a lot of those conversations, there would be conversation, I gotta get my water, that there would be conversation about like employment and how might people be able to find jobs. That's just me. Okay, so let's talk about this. All right, so one thing that Common said, which I thought was really good, let me back up. So he talked about growing up in Chicago and how his dad was a former NFL player. And I was like, NBA player. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that. And his mom was a teacher. And how they grew up, from what I gathered, how he described like middle class. So there were people of a lower socioeconomic situation and then upper, and they were in the middle. What does middle mean? I don't know. I didn't look it up, but that's what he said. And one of the questions that the moderator asked, which I thought was so powerful, was when his life started to change and he became more financially successful, was he prepared for it? And I loved his honesty. I will say this, Common really was so honest in his responses. He paused and was very thoughtful. I was like, oh, he's telling the truth. Even though I know he's an actor. But he talked about, and I want to share a story about authenticity he shared, which I thought was really powerful. But he talked about not being prepared for that level of success. That he wasn't always talking to his financial advisor. And so he just wasn't ready for it. And so we didn't really get to hear about all of his financial pitfalls, but you can fill in the blanks in your own life about what it would mean to all of a sudden get all this money and you don't really know how to manage it. But one thing he said that was great for him in the very beginning of his career, when he did start making some money, not as much as he would make later on, his mom told him to get property. And that is something that I've heard a lot in various Black communities, is when you are able to have a little bit of money, to put your money in real estate. So that was something that I was familiar with from back home. So that was really good. But let me share some notes. So as he was, really progressing, I should say. I was going to say as his star began to rise, but it wasn't just about his star rising. But as he began to be on a healing journey, and he talked about being on a holistic healing journey, so mind, body, soul, he talked about creating a vision and a mission statement, and that was very powerful. And he said like how he organizes his business and his life pretty much is creating a vision and mission statement. And that reminds me, shameless plug, of my podcast, the Boosie Teaches podcast. And I interviewed one of my mentors. His name is Dr. Nathaniel West. He is a licensed therapist, professor, and a lot of other things. He wears a lot of hats, but he talked about his personal statement. And so as I'm watching this, I thought, oh, I need to write a personal statement. So let me actually share with y'all my personal mission statement. Let's see. Alrighty, so this is my personal mission statement. I wrote this April 5th. So I had to let what we talked about, or what was talked about in this conversation, really ruminate. So I said, this is my mission statement. Wellness is about, let me make sure. Yeah, my mission statement. Wellness is about interrogating my life, taking accountability. Let me reset that. Let me say that again. Wellness is about interrogating my life, taking accountability, and to lovingly make adjustments as I go along. It is about living in the purest, non-violent form of my truth at all times, pristine truth, raggedy truth, and everything in between. Wellness is about creative expression and manifestation of the divine creator, orator, and overflowing vessel that I am. Operating from a standpoint that we all can be who we want to be, even with our last breath. this is my life's work and my mission statement. And so based on that workshop, I was like, oh, I should do that. And so I actually wrote the note is to create, I wrote his example. So I just summarized his mission statement, or his vision and mission statement. Create art and produce art that brings light to the world. And so I wrote a note, create a vision and mission statement for Boosie Teaches, which is my educational brand, which I do need to do. I have a version of it, but I want to tweak that a little bit. He also talked about how, because this is him talking about his businesses. I don't know if I said that. He also talked about how he has a nonprofit branch of his business called AIM, which is a school. And thought that was interesting, and I really connected with that because I had a nonprofit before that I want to get back to for young people, a theater. Let's see. Another question that was asked is how did he choose the people on his team? And he said that he looks for people that are intelligent, socially aware. They need to be passionate. They need to be able to be masters of their own craft. That being a part of his team should be a part of their purpose. That they should be operating in their purpose. They should have good energy, no a-holes. I love this part of the conversation because he explained, like, the people on your team are the people that you're going to be around quite a bit that will affect you and you will affect them. And so making sure that you're around the right people. And so this also takes discernment. He also talked about discernment, which I thought was powerful. Let's see. Then he also talked about his artistic journey. So he talked about how his first album got critical acclaim, but it wasn't commercially successful. Then he talked about how his second album got him more buzz. And I want to point this out because one thing he said that I've heard from a lot of artists is that he's made more money outside of music than with music. And that's what you hear a lot from a lot of music artists. Then he talks about how, I believe this was for his third album, how he wanted to make, how he got a call from the label head to make like a commercial song, and it didn't do well. Then he talks about, this was such a powerful story, and to me this is like, I said, oh, this is like what I needed to hear. So he talks about authenticity and how a lot of times, anytime that he's tried to intentionally make money, it hasn't worked for him. So he talked about how he had the opportunity to work with a big company. And he talked about how he was on his like healing journey. This, I guess maybe this was like the start of his long healing journey, as we're all on a healing journey. And the company wanted him to drink soda. And he talked about how he wasn't drinking soda. And so he turned them down. And he talked about how there were people in his life that was like, oh no, this is like change your life money. Like, this is like, mama, I made it change your life money. I'm adding a little sauce, but that was the sentiment. And he was like, no. And so he told them no. Okay, he said they called him 2 days later and doubled the deal. And then, yep, he didn't have to drink the soda, and he worked with Questlove. And so what I took from that is when you stand on your authenticity, when you stand on business, as they say, things will come back around. And of course, this doesn't work in every scenario. But what I gathered from that part of the conversation is a lot of the things that we're seeking is rooted in our authenticity. These levels of success that we're seeking are often rooted in us being authentic. Again, this doesn't work for everything, but I took from that. He also talked about brand alignment and how it wasn't just about Sometimes when thinking about brand alignment, something that might be a good look for you might not be aligned with your brand. And so you may have to walk away from a few things. And I was like, oh, that's not easy for some people. And I don't know if everyone's called to do that. And I will say again, as someone who is a proponent of equity and equality, sometimes you're not always going to be able to walk away in authenticity. I get it. Sometimes you got to eat. Sometimes you have to do what you have to do. Because sometimes those kinds of conversations come from a place of privilege. So I just want to acknowledge that. Let's see. Oh, also when he talked about brand alignment, he also talked about how sometimes you might have to do things for a good look. Like you might not be able to always get the money that you want initially, and that partnership might be more long term. And thinking about value from a longevity standpoint. And then he said that the most important currency we have is wellness, and that we should keep our inner child alive, which I love. And someone had asked a question about, or the moderator asked a question about, I think like working with new artists or something like that. And he said, great art doesn't have an age. Great art is timeless. And so I love that. The other thing that's great, which I will also include, was at the beginning of the session, it was the day before his birthday. We sang him happy birthday. So I will include that clip here.
What we gonna do now? Happy birthday to you.
And yes, that is me singing off key. And he also graced us with a freestyle that I will also share here.
It's our own zone. We can't confuse them. Put my lyrics somewhere in the hip-hop museum. It should be there. That's just how I rock. My picture should be right next to Tupac. Or better yet, Biggie. Yo, you can hear me. And when it comes to this, MCs, they sort of feel me. But still I speak clearly. I say this today. It's a Tuesday. We live here right in L.A. I can tell you. So I keep exploring them. I stay on point like Steph. We from the Warriors. You used to rock with them. I got with them. And I'ma tell y'all, yo, I got hip hop rhythm so I can get into it. Live with no music, yo. It's like fluid. Now whose styles can ruin? Yo, of course I used to do the things in the source. You can hear the sound, my voice is sort of hoarse, but okay. I can still display on this day. I do it in this way, and ain't no dismay. I say these things, I say these dreams. My girl right here, yo, she's here from Queens. Process got the flow. Shout out to the West Coast, I'm from Chicago. And that's how it be. It's style to be free. I guess it's all real. I seen mass appeal. And when it comes to this, yo, I kick down the doors. My name ain't Nas, but yo, the world is yours.
Alright, so that's enough about the common talk, but I do have to give you an update about the Gathering Spot. So, though I do love the Gathering Spot, I think it's a great place. You will not see me do any more videos right now talking about the Gathering Spot because I have decided to put my membership on hold, mainly because and this is really petty, but let me get some more water. Excuse me, I just burped. Because, well, I do think the Gathering Spot has great events. There are great opportunities for networking. I am not in a place in my life that I just want to network. I recently had a conversation about like what I wanted to do in entertainment here, and I really want to build community, and I'm all networked out. I do not like doing a bunch of networking events, and while there are other events, because of the things that I'm doing that I choose to do and want to do, like yoga, or just having time to rest after work, or doing YouTube and other things that I like, I just don't feel like being in a space of going to a bunch of networking events mainly. And also the main reason why I'm pausing my membership is we haven't had orientation. I became a member in February, and since it is now April and there is no orientation. And the thing that's a little concerning for me, and I do love the organization and what they stand for and all those things, but if this is a social organization, and I mean, there are things that I can take ownership of, like there's a co-working space, but this is my home office. I don't really need to go outside of my home office to work. Everything I need is here. But I really wanted orientation so that I can meet other new people and like exchange information. Because the way the app was set up, and I know that there's a new app coming, the way the app is set up, it's really hard to navigate how to meet people. And there is a concierge option where you can message with the concierge, and I asked about orientation and was told there would be one in March, but that I could come in and basically have a personal orientation. I don't want to come and have a personal orientation. I want to be a part of the gathering spot. I want to make social connections. And so so I am pausing my membership. Wouldn't you know, I received an email. Let me look at this quickly because I gotta go back to work. But Monday. So remember I told y'all, I sent the message that was like, hey, there's no orientation. This is supposed to be a social club. Well, I'm paraphrasing, but basically I said, hey, there's no orientation. I don't know how to connect with people. This is supposed to be a social club. Blah, blah, blah. Monday at 9:01, I received an email that said, now mind you, I'm still on the email list, but I don't have access to my membership portal, though it is not the end of April, and I paid for April. It says, we're excited to announce a new series of events called I'm New Too, dedicated to people who are new to Atlanta, DC, LA, Charlotte, Detroit, Chicago, Houston, and New York. One thing that I can say about me, even though in some moments I may not feel like I'm being heard, y'all, I'm being heard every time. A lot of times, you know, you may feel like, oh, nobody's hearing you, but then things change, things are happening, things are moving. That's how you know you're being heard. So shout out to the Gathering Spot for hearing me. And I will keep y'all posted. Like, I will check out the events, and I'll definitely uncancel my cancellation. Because that was just the whole point of me saying what I said earlier. I do want to be a part of this creative social space. Absolutely. I don't mind paying for it every month. I don't mind, you know, the cost of exclusivity if I'm keeping it real. But like, hey, let me connect with people. I don't want to just network. Like I said, I go to all these events. I network all the time. Oh, that's cool for what it is. But I really want to, have orientation, basically. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you check the next one out, where I will be posting my experience from the NAACP Awards in March. All right, as usual, thank you so much for being a part of the Boosie Evolves journey.